Hello world, welcome to my next tutorial solving problems with programming. This tutorial is about the WSQ8. Yo soy 196 and I'm going to show how to do it and I just want to explain a quick errors that I had to face in doing this program. So we need to see this picture, the magic numbers, and we need to have a background. The letter numbers are numbers that do not form a palindrome after successive additions to the inverse that we saw before in the class. So what are we going to do is to create a program that asks the user for two pieces of data, the lower bound of the sequence and the upper bound of the sequence. Then you check the values from the lower bound, inclusive, to the upper bound, inclusive, and make a report of them. During the analysis of each number, if a literal number is found, it should be reported immediately with something like final literal number 196. The details. The report must show the range of numbers analyzed, lower to upper bound, the number of natural palindromes, no addition to inverse needed, the number of non-literals encountered become palindromes in order to add the inverse. Furthermore, the number of literal number candidates that did not converge to palindrome. And since you will not be able to prove that a number is literal, since you cannot compute forever to check, our definition for a literal candidate will be if a number does not converge after 30 iterations of applying the addition to the inverse. To get this working well, you will need support for big integers. So you can base your solution off my code base in Github that is for the teacher. And I recommend that you see first this video in order to include your library. So let's get down to business. I have already wrote the code finally. So I have the beginning of the program. To do Yo Soy 196, you have to create in your main five important variables. So this is declare integer variables, lower for the lower bound, higher for the upper bound, counter palindrome, initialized in 0 for being the counter of how many natural palindromes are, become palindrome, initialized in 0 for being the counter of how many non-literals that could become palindrome with the reverse are, literal counter, initialized in 0 for being the counter of how many literal candidates are. Furthermore, we have to declare a big integer variable candidate with a huge value. Then, so we have first the program command of data in form of text. This is to tell the user to give me the lower bound of numbers to consider. Then we have an input. This command allows enter for data for inputs. In this case, this enters the value of variable lower. Furthermore, we have a command of data in form of text. This is that is to tell the user that give me the upper bound of the numbers to consider, and I put another saying in order to be an input. This command allows enter data for inputs. In this case, this enters the value of variable higher. Furthermore, we have a command of data in form of text and text spaces, and this is for tell the user the message of calculating whether each value is one of palindrome, non-literal or literal candidate, and online in line. So after that, after giving those values of the sequence, I have a for. I want mastery topic. With this command for is utilized as a loop for execute all the instructions that has this loop until does not complete that the variable I will be less or equal than the variable higher. While is increasing one in one in this variable I initialized from the value of the variable lower. So I have my loop and I have all my statements. So inside of the for I have a master topic 10. You saw the if statement. This command allows the condition if the value of the bool function is palindrome with the parameter the value of I is true, and when this condition will be true, the task inside of the statement will execute. So what is this? What is this condition? So this condition is where I have to evaluate this if, and in order to evaluate, I have to call the function is palindrome. This is a bool function, so the main program jumps from the main and goes to the bool function is palindrome. This is the structure of a function where you have subroutines in order to make different tasks. In this case, we have a bool function when the name is palindrome and with big integer parameter n in order to have bool results inside this function that are false, 0, or true, 1. So inside of this, when it's called this function, just returns one value. So just return one value. What kind of value? We will see that value with the next statements. So inside of this function, I have a string. I have to declare a string variable x. Then we have an assignation operation between n and x, and it stands for convert the numeric value of the parameter n to a string and say this new value of string to a string variable x. So I'm going to explain it at the end, all of it. Next, I have an assignation that helps to make the operation on reverse the string value from the beginning, x that r begin and parentheses to the end x that r n parentheses. Therefore, all that string will be reversed, and that reverse value will have it in the string variable x. Then we have to declare a big integer variable y. Then we have an assignation operation between y and x, and it stands for convert the reverse string value of x to reverse a numeric big integer value and save this new value of big integer to big integer variable y. Then I have mastery topic 10. You saw the if statement. This command allows the condition if the value of the big integer is equal to the big integer reverse y, and when this condition will be true, the task inside of the statement will execute. In this case, if the value is true, this will occur. We have a return statement. The bool function is palindrome and sends to the main program the value true. Otherwise, we have a mastery topic 11, use of else with a conditional. If the condition does not achieve, on the other hand, you will do this. We have a return statement. The bool function is palindrome, sends to the main program the value false, and this is the end of the bool function. So after that, I return to my main function, that is this. So if the condition is true, in this case with the parameter I of the for with that value, it will do this condition, that is counter palindrome plus plus. That this is a math operation between counter palindrome and 1, and it stands for the sum between those values and saving it in the integer variable counter palindrome. So the counter palindrome, or the number of the natural palindromes, are going to increase every time that this is true. So I'm going to explain it all over at the end, all the logic. Then we have an else, a master topic 11, use of else with a conditional if. If the condition does not achieve, on the other hand, you will do this. We have this operation connected assigned to I. This command allows giving the value of the declared decimal variable I to the declared in variable candidate. Next, we have to declare an in variable call counter to be the counter of the 30 iterations of applying the addition to the inverse. Next, we have a while statement. This is a master topic. With this command while is utilized as a loop while execute all the instruction that has this loop until does not complete that the value of the bool function is palindrome with the parameter or the value candidate will be equal to false, and the counter will be less or equal than 30. So inside of this while I have an assignation. This assignation has to call the function of become palindrome to make the task of the sum value of the numbers with the help of the variable in candidate and with the parameter of the variable candidate, mastery topic 6 and mastery topic 7. Furthermore, we have a math operation between counter and 1, and it stands for do the sum between those values and save it in variable counter. So counter plus plus. Then this is the counter of the 30 iterations in order to determine the literal candidate. So next we have a mastery topic 10, use of the if statement. And this command allows the condition if the value of the bool function is palindrome with the parameter the value of candidate is true, and when this condition will be true, the task inside of the statement will execute. In this case, if the value is true, this will occur. We have a math operation between become palindrome and 1, and it stands for do the sum between those values and save it in variable become palindrome. We have the end of the if, the end of the while, the end of the else of the beginning. I'm going to play it all. I'm going to display all at the end. So then we have a question in order to emphasize that the condition pass 30 iterations. So we have a linear candidate. So we have a mastery topic 10, use of the if statement. This command allows the condition if the value of the bool function is palindrome with the parameter the value of candidate is false, and when this condition will be true, the tasks inside of the statement will execute. So we have this statement. This is a math operation between literal counter and 1, and it stands for do the sum between those values and save it in variable literal counter is going to increase, and we say to the user, okay, found literal number. In this text, we show the authentic output, the value entered for I in the terminal interface. Mastery topic 20, validate user input, ensure correct and expected data entry. So this is the data that will be the literal number to tell the user that we found it. We have the end of the for, and we have another text. In this text, we show the authentic output of the value entered or lower and higher in the terminal interface, mastery topic 20. Validate user input, ensure correct, expected data entry. We have then another text. In this text, we show the authentic output of the value entered of counter palindrome in the terminal interface, mastery topic 20, validate user input, ensure correct and expect data entry, that it will be the natural palindromes. Then we have another text. In this text, we show the authentic output of the value entered of become palindrome in the terminal interface, mastery topic 20, validate user input, ensure correct and expected data entry. Then we have another text. In this text, we show the authentic output of the value entered or literal counter in the terminal interface, mastery topic 20, validate user input, ensure correct and expected data entry. And then we have a return statement. This command allows label the final of the function name. So in this part of the if, in this part of the while statement that I mentioned before, in this assignation is going to call this function become palindrome, and then the main function is going to jump to that function. Brings the main and goes to this function. So we have a structure or a function where you have subroutines in order to make different tasks. In this case, we have a big integer function with the name or call become palindrome, and with big integer with a big integer parameter n in order to have big integer results inside this function that are big. So I have to declare it a big integer variable. I call it pizza candidate. So this is pizza candidate. We have a little more range of values. Then we have to declare a string variable x. Then we have an assignation operation between n and x, and it stands for convert the numeric value of the parameter n to a string and save this new value of string to a string variable x. Then we have another assignation with this variable x. This assignation helps to make the operation or reverse the string value from the beginning x.r begin parentheses to the end x dot rent parentheses, and therefore all the string will be reversed, and that reverse value will have it in the string variable x. So I'm going to explain all of it, but I want to explain now. Declare big integer variable y. Then we have that declaration of this y. Then we have an assignation operation between y and x, and it stands for convert the reverse string value of x to reverse a numeric big integer value and save this new value of big integer to big integer variable y. Then we have a operation between y and n, and it stands for adding those values and saving big integer variable pizza candidate. Then we have a return statement pizza candidate, and this is the big integer function become palindrome sends to the main program the big integer value of pizza candidate. So the value of this variable from the previous operations will be sent to the main function. So how this program work? Okay, remember that in order to be a natural palindrome, the same number with the reverse is the same. So you have to remember that. So as I mentioned before, I have already have the first most important variables of the program. So we give the user the lower, the higher, okay. Our next, this command for is going to last from the time to the range provided by the user. So okay, so we ask the user to give you the lower, the higher. Then we set a little message, and we run the for. So inside of the for, the first thing that it's going to do is evaluate this condition. So in this condition is calling this function and giving this function the value of the actual I. So if I put at first in lower 1, it will be is palindrome 1. So it first is going to obtain the value of this function evaluated in 1, and then it is going to make the if statement that questions if is true. So we're going to do to the bool. So first of all, the example is 1. So we have the number 1 of the I is given to the big to the parameter n, big integer 1, and then okay, this 1 is going to be converted to a string, and this string is going to have the x value, then the new x value, and then we do the reverse with this command from the string. So for example, if it's 1, it's going to make the reverse of 1, that will be also 1. So it will be 1, and then we have a string value reverse 1. Then this one of the x will be converted to big integer, so that in this moment the x is not a string anymore, is a big integer, and we give the value this reverse integer to the variable big integer y, and then we use the condition. So this has the value. This has the value of numeric, but it's reverse, and we have the number n that it will be the I. So we have this statement. If the reverse of those numbers are the same, it's a palindrome. So we have to send the main function a return statement that is true. The bold function is palindrome and sends to the main program the value true. Okay, so sends the true to the main function. Okay, it's true. Yes, it will be increase the number of natural palindromes, and this will be always true until, for example, in 10. If it's in 10, if it's in 10, it will do this like this. It will do the same. The 10. The 10 sends to this function big integer n 10, and then we convert that numeric 10 to a string. So this string is going to have is going to be assigned to the value string x, and then we do the reverse. So it will be 0 1, and we have that 0 1. So then the 0 1 is going to be converted as that string. It will be converted as a big integer and will be assigned to the y variable. So we are going to do this. Are the same. The number n, it will be 10 equals to 0 1. No, so it will come out the mastery topic 11, that is use of else with a conditional if. If the condition does not achieve, on the other hand, you will do this. The bool function is palindrome, sends to the main program the return false. So it will be false. So therefore, in the main program, this now doesn't occur anymore, and we have this else that is going to do this one. Okay, so we give the candidate that number 10. We make the counter in order if it's literal or non-literal. So we put this while the number of the function with this is false, that we saw before, that I have explained, that recently I have explained this, and the counter doesn't surpass with 30 times, are going to do this while that will be call this function become palindrome with the name of the candidate that will be in this case 10. So we have 10. Okay, we have the number of the end that will be 10, like this before, and then we have the bigger integer pixel candidate. Then we have the string. We convert that 10 to a string, and we assign it to x. Then we do the reverse. It will be 0 1. It will have the value 0 1 here and x, and then it will be that 0 1 from a string will be converted to a big integer, and this will be assigned to the value big integer y, and we do the addition. This is an operation between y and n, and stands for adding those values and save big integer variable pixel candidate. So 10 can become a palindrome if we sum the reverse. So will be the number of n that will be 10, and then we have another the number of y that will be 0, 1. This is the reverse, so will be 11. So we return the value pixel candidate. So when we call this function, we are going to send the value of pixel candidate. So in this part, we have, like I said before, we have this number. Okay, we're going to counter, and while it is true, when it is true, that will be this true, is going to increase the number of become palindrome until we get the number with the reverse. After the 30 times of sending these values from the become palindrome function, this statement is not going to succeed anymore and jumps the loop, and we have the end of the else, and then we have okay. This case is for the Richard value. So for example, well, we were talking about the 10. So after that, breaking the while after doing the reverse, that in this case it just happens 1 if we are going to from 1 to 10, and then breaks the while, breaks the else. This is not true for now, and we give to the user, okay, the number of resources of the range are the lower and the higher. Then the natural palindromes is the number of the counter palindrome that will be from 1 to 9. Then the non-literals become palindrome that will be the just 1, that will be the 10 one, they become palindrome. And the literal candidates, the word any. Until, for example, 196. So so that is how it works. And for example, well, let's do a final example of from 1 to 100. Okay, so so from 1 to 200 in order to check about the 126. So we give the lower bound to the numbers 1 and then 200. Then okay, we say it and we did this. From 1 to 100, you will do this. This is for the 4. So okay, from 1, well, it will be the same statements as we discussed from 1 to 10, and I want to talk about the 196. So when the 100 when I equals to 196 or 126, we call the function is palindrome 126, and we are going to go to i's palindrome. So it will be the number n will be the parameter of I, that will be 126. Then that 126 will be converted to a string, and the 126 will be assigned to x. Then we do the reverse. So we are going to do the reverse of 196, that will de 196, que sería 691. Yeah, and that reverse is going, we are going to have this, the reverse, and then we are going to have this string reverse to integer reverse. So this is numeric, and we are going to send this numeric. So it will be 196 equals to 126 equals to 691. Pues well, not. So this is not true, and we are we need the else. So the function returns false. So the counter palindrome of the number of natural palindromes doesn't occur. This makes the same from 196, and we use the else. That will be the candidate will be 196, and we do the counter. Okay. So while it is true, it will call this function become palindrome. The number of the candidate will be 196, and the function of 196 will be this one. We are going to do again the declaration of the pizza candidate. We are going to convert the big integer to a string, the 196 to a string. We are going to do the reverse, and we are going to convert this reverse string to numeric but reverse value to y. And then we add the n parameter that will be 196 más plus 691, and we are going to send this value in this, and we are going to check if it's a palindrome. So we are going to do again this one. Is palindrome a candidate will be the sum of 196 and the inverse. But the problem that 196 plus its inverse is not true. It will be again do this from the for the fixed full function, but it will be always false. In this case for 196. So we are going to do it this 30 times until that doesn't occur, and then we have okay we have a if condition, and this is applied. This is when is applied this condition. Is polymer candidate false? Yes. So in this case, is going to increase the number of letter counters as a literal candidate, and we say, okay, we found a literal number, and will be the number of I that will be 196, and then jumps the function, and we have to tell the user, okay, the literal numbers are these ones, literal counter. In this step, we show the authentic output of the value entry of literal counter in the terminal interface. Massive topic 20. Validate user input and ensure correct expected data entry. So we are going to run this. Let me clean this up. So remember, we have to do first make. I have already do the make from my file, so that's okay. I have already compiled it with make. So we are going to run it. So point slash yo soy 196. The program asks me to give me the lower bound of numbers to consider. I will be from 1 to 10. That will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 to 9 will be natural palindromes, and the case on the 10 that I explained before will be the reverse. So it will be just 1. It will be a become palindrome. And it will be 9, 1, and 0. There you go. So calculating each value is one of palindrome, non-literal, or literal candidate, and the results are from that range. The natural palindromes will be 9, and will be the non-literals become palindrome that just will be 1. I'm going to clear all again, and I'm going to run it. So it will be from 1 to 100. That will be 18 palindromes, natural palindromes, and 82. And let's check out to 196. We are going to run it from 1 to 196. No, 200. There you go. We have found number 196. from 1 to 200, there are 28 natural palindromes and just one literal candidate, and they are non-literal become palindrome 171. We're going to clear this, and we're going to run it from 1 to, I don't know, 400. There you go. The phone literal numbers are 196 to 195. That will be the 30 times. After the 30 times, we can now find the reverse. So, and the results are from the range 1 to 400. There are 48, and there are 349. Non-literal become palindrome, 349 that can become palindrome, and literal candidates are 3. So my data is true. I checked it with this video. This video can bauer.
All palindromes that look the same forward and backward.
I'm going to
Report we have
I'm going to check it if I'm okay.
And we haven't yet reached that magic.
We are going to prove in order to make this try.
18 and 82.
There you go. For example, if the teacher is from 1 to 100, and we have 18 and 82. So, for example, in this case, we have this 1 to 100. There you go. There, we have the same numbers, 18, 82, and 0. And then 200.
So we should expect that we encounter that 196, which is a literal number. And as soon as we see a literal number, we should announce it right away, and then also include that in the count at the end. So we'll see that happen here.
There you go.
So it calculates, it found a literal number, it screams, it dances, it puts it in.
There you go. We have the we have 196 that will be the literal candidate found. Then we have the range. We have the 28 and 162. So this program is okay. So it's correct. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.